Hey, good afternoon. Buzz's Retirement Garage. In the bedroom again with the bookcase because it's still a little bit cold outside, 25 degrees. And again, not that it bothers me, but the wind's still blowing, probably where you're at too. You're probably getting some bad weather. Looks like most of the U.S. is getting some bad weather. It's January 14th, Sunday. And I wanted to do this video to follow up on a video that seemed to struck a nerve with a lot of people, and it was called "Why the Three Reasons Why I Retired at 63." And the third reason may surprise you. That video has had close to 100,000 views, and there's been at least 350 individual comments that I've tried to answer. And most of those comments were referring to the number three reason. Well, let's go to number one. Number one was I paid off all my bills. If you remember from that video, I paid off all my bills, all my debt, and that was a part of one of the many reasons why I wanted, or I felt I could retire. Number two was, if you remember the drive, my company was going through some changes. I was driving 90 minutes round trip, all highway miles, but still, it was, it's a drag in the wintertime. And when I retired in basically the end of September, beginning of October of 2023, it was just perfect timing. And the third reason was, the passing of my daughter. And many of those comments, I just want to tell you, I appreciate from the bottom of my heart the comments that I received um, to that number three reason. Um, you can't imagine. I mean, you can't imagine the amount of people that took time to to say, to give me, um, a hey, it's okay. To give me a, I've been there, and you know, some of the subscribers mentioned that they've gone through the loss of their child, or children or grandchildren, and each one of those, I just want you to know, I read, and very heartwarming to me that, like, again, you took the time to say that, and I appreciate that. So the other part of this video, and after that, I there was one thing I was going to put in four reasons why, and I decided not to, only because it's personal, and I wasn't sure if I should share it or not. But given the response and the love that I felt from my other video, and the camaraderie that some of us have together, again, of losing a child or losing a grandchild, and how that weighs on you and helps you to push you over to, hey, let's retire. We're done with this work. We're done with this. Let's live our lives now. So, and I wanted to just say that on this video that the number four reason was, I had cancer myself. Okay, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that have had cancer, and successfully had it treated, like in my case. So in 2014, I had a pain in my right side, right? And it was just a small little tingling pain. Just, it would come and go. I shouldn't say that. It was a constant pain, but it didn't bother me as much most of the time as some of the time it would. It would be like a sharp little needle point. So I went in to get an ultrasound, and that's how they first start doing it. And um, I went in for an ultrasound, and they probed around, and I remember specifically the woman who was doing the ultrasound. I was making jokes like, "Hey, is it a boy or a girl?" And she was real cold. She was just, it was just wasn't her day or something. She was just, like she's heard that joke 1,000 times, right? So she's doing the ultrasound, and she got over to my left side, and her attitude completely changed. She turned into just the most friendly, warm, um, person that you could ever meet, and I found out later she probably just felt sorry for me because what she found on my left side was a huge growth of lymphoma. It's called B cell lymphoma. And it was pretty large on my left side. So that was back in 2014. So, long story short, I did chemo, I did radiation, I did 6 chemos, I did 12 radiations, and they say, people tell me, hey, lymphoma, if you're going to get a cancer, that's a good one to get because it's not too bad. The success rate is very high. And, I feel like punching them in the face because when you get cancer, um, yeah, everything's different. So think about this. In 2014, 10 years ago, I got this cancer, and and that plays a part of why I've decided to retire early because of course, the biggest part is can I pay my bills, right? That's the biggest part. But the health aspect of my own personal health, um, if I've been chemoed and I've been radiated, um, you know, what's the chances or what are the odds that something that saved me then is going to take me down later? Um, so that was one of the reasons why that I decided, hey, you know what? I think it's time to go because, and even in Social Security, when you take your Social Security, what's the first thing, let's talk here, okay? What's one of the things you have to figure out? One of the things you have to figure out is how long you're going to live. You have to basically figure it out or take a guess. Should I wait till 60? Should I take it at 62? Should I take it at 63, 64, 65, 66, 67? In most cases, people's full retirement age is 67, or it might be 66 in some months, but a lot of people are at 67 in our age group right now. 67 is the year. Or do you take it at 70? So you have to decide. And I decided, personally, I probably will hopefully make 70 years old. So based on that number, I decided to take my Social Security, like I did, at 63 and X months, 10 months, I believe it was. It is based on, my health, which is good now, but can my health change dramatically down the road because of the radiation and the chemo? And I think the answer is yes. Um, Now, my oncologist has told me, because I kept going up for follow ups, I was friends with a person on Facebook who, and he was a metal detecting person who, and I like to metal detect. If you saw one of my hobby videos, I like to metal detect. And he had stage 4 colon cancer, which he got through it, but he never had follow ups. He never got checked out. He never made sure that his issue was resolved. And by the time he got back to the doctor, it was too late. And he passed probably around a year or less than a year. So one thing he told me was that because you beat cancer, that's great, but do the follow-ups. You need to follow up with your doctor. Let them tell you not to come back anymore. So my last visit to the oncologist, I've been going 9 years now. So this summer, or I should say in 2023, I went and the doctor basically said, stop coming back. Um, if you feel like you need to, we can have you come back. But for lymphoma, once you hit the 10-year mark, we probably won't need to see you anymore. So I thought, well, that's cool. I don't really want to come back here. So that worked out really well for me. But I don't know if any of you have had cancer. I got this letter. I got this letter right here, and now you can't read it. It's pretty small, but so I had a CAT scan or a PET scan, um, and once all the treatments were done, um, we did another PET scan, and I went to pick up the results from the local place where I had the scan, part of in Southwest General, UHC. If you're in the Cleveland area, you know what I'm talking about, but there's a Strongsville location where they do the PET scan in a trailer outside. Anyway, I went. They got the results, and instead of mailing them to me, I said, I can't wait. I need to be there to see them. And so they handed me the paper, and I got into the car and I opened it up like, is this stuff gone? Is it good? Is it bad? What happened? And of course they used their doctor's lingo, but the impression. Now this was it was August 12th of 2014 that this scan was done. It was a comparison to the May 27th, 2014, when they first found it. So on 8/12, um, they said, they sent me this letter, 8/12/2014. I picked up this letter and sat in the car and read it. And it said, resolution of previously present hypermetabolic mesenteric lymphoma. Resolution. If you've ever had cancer and you had a doctor tell you something like this, or if you read it, it's another feeling that I can't describe. It's just an amazing, amazing feeling that it got resolved. So again, those of you who have survived cancer, you know how this feels. You know what this paper says. You know what that doctor told you, and you know that feeling. So that makes it all the more an issue for me because, years later, I lose my daughter to cancer. So why not me? Why her? Why not me? We can ask those questions all day long. It's just it wasn't meant to be. So I understand it, and that's the way it's going to be, and I just have to deal with that part of it, right? So anyway, that was kind of putting my emotions on my sleeve here and letting you know another reason why I chose to retire when I did, because my lifespan, I don't know how long it's going to be. And if I can get time to go out and fish, and I can go metal detecting, and I can gaze at the stars through my telescope, which means a lot to me now, looking up into the heavens, that's what I want to do. I want more time to be able to do those things, more time to spend with my other daughter, more time to spend with my wife and family. My friends are, work friends. I don't talk too much anymore. Family's gotten smaller and smaller. I mean, heck, we used to host all the parties here at our house. The family used to be how many aunts and uncles and cousins that would come over to the house, and on my wife's side. And I mean, there were Polish family, big family. If you're coming from a Polish family, Um, and they've all passed. Father-in-law just passed December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. They just had a service for him on January 8th, so that's pretty fresh. But yeah, the family's getting smaller and smaller. So you need to spend the time if you're in a position where you can retire early. Get the money squared away first. Talk to your advisors, talk to the people you need to talk to that are professionals. And if you can, and you're so on your job, some people commented to me that they love their job. That's great. If you have a job that you love close by and you're making some money, stick with it. Stick with it. But just remember, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. So you got to weigh a lot of different things. You have to weigh, how much time you have left, and versus, the money. And some people, it's going to be rough to retire. I understand that, and I feel for them. It's not easy sometimes, especially nowadays. It's getting tougher and tougher. But it's like a pendulum. Everything, it goes this way, it goes that way, and it'll be true today. Things will get better. Life gets better sometimes. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that. Another big reason why, which I wasn't going to mention before, but one of the big reasons why that I've decided to hang it up when I did. So, um, any comments, questions, hit me up. Buzz's Retirement Garage. See you next time.